Hello and welcome to Yoga for Knitters. My name is Kim and I am a yoga teacher and a knitter based in central Alberta in Canada. Thank you so much for being on this yoga knitting journey with me. I am so enjoying the time that we get to spend together, and I really love to read your comments in the YouTube videos, so thank you for that. If you want to learn more about what I do, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Ravelry, YouTube, and Patreon. There, I think I got that out of the way. So this month's class is all about hips and digestion. As we come into the cooler months of the year for many of you, you're going to find that food becomes more of a comfort. You want to sit around and be a little lazier, be more creative. But the problem with all of that sitting is that we're not moving. So things in our intestines don't move as well, and our hips get really tight. So this small segment is just a part of the Patreon class that I do every month for patrons, but it specifically focuses on your hips and your digestion so that you can continue to feel great, even if you're moving a little bit slower as things get a little cooler into the fall and winter. So I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. This next section is one of my favorite series for hips and digestion. It's going to feel so good. So I want you to come down into a pigeon pose. So let's start with our left leg in the front and the right leg in the back. So our left knee's bent, our right leg straight behind us, and our hips are square over the mat. So check in with your knee. If your knee is feeling kind of twingy, maybe have a little bit less angle at the knee here. If you feel like this is really easy, maybe you have a little bit more angle at the knee. Okay, so find that perfect space and then slowly and gently lower yourself down onto your forearms and work towards maintaining a nice square space between the two hip points and the mat. So we're not tilting one side or the other. We're just hovering, and we're letting gravity very slowly open up the hips just by pushing the booty down towards the mat. And if you get to the point where like, hey, this is getting easy, maybe it'd be a little more challenging if you stacked your hands and let your forehead rest on top of them. And it's not meant to hurt. It's not meant to be stressful. It's just meant to be there. You're noticing the stretch. And you're enjoying the stretch. At least that's what you're going to tell yourself. Good. On your next inhalation, we're going to just use our arms. And come on up. Hi, Brian. Come on up. We're still in our pigeon pose. But here you have options. You can either come right onto your fingertips and start to engage the legs, or you can go a little bit deeper by bending that back right leg, reaching the right hand back to grab it, and balancing like that. So neither of my hands are on the floor. But you have options. You can go to any of those other pigeon poses we just did if this one is not speaking to you today. What I like about this one though is the quad stretch. We don't do a whole lot of quads in yoga, and that's a shame because those muscles get quite tight, and especially they're tight when we sit too much. Okay, from here we're going to be very dancer-like and beautiful as we settle onto our left hip and wrap that right foot all the way up and around. Good, so both bum cheeks are sitting on the floor, and we're wrapping our left hand around our right knee and then continuing to twist around, wrapping our torso around our spine. And breathe deep. And just think, not only is this a wonderful stretch for the outer hip, but this is a wonderful stretch and toning exercise for your organs because they're in a position they're not used to. If you ate recently, you'll know how squished everything is right now. And you're breathing. So you're massaging them from the inside out. This is going to improve digestion, absorption, just the overall functionality of the digestive system. Okay, let's come back to center. And this time, bring your knees together. So it's like this fancy dinner squat where your thighs are squished together. You're going to come back onto your back, grab a hold of your feet, and just pull them in towards you. You can grab your thighs too, or your shins, whatever you can reach. This is a reclined fire log, which is much, much nicer than the seated version, let me tell you. Breathe deep. Remember, breathing is a very big part of digestion. Breathe all the way down into your belly. Feel your belly pushing against your thigh. And then we'll release, untwist the legs, grab a hold of the soles of your feet, point them up towards heavens. Soul, heaven, get it? It's a good way to remember. And then use your hands to pull the knees down. Your knees are on the outside of the frame of your body. So they're stretching down beside the ribs, not on the ribs. If you like, you can add a small rock. This is a wonderful way to massage the muscles of the low back. And release. We're going to rock and roll back up to a seated position. You ready? Another great back massage here. And then, which side did you do first? You had your left foot bent for pigeon. This time we're going to have a right foot bent. And draw that left leg back behind you. Just like that. Choose the angle at your knee that gives you stretch without any kind of pain. Square the hips so that they hover over the mat. And then maybe you can lower yourself down onto your forearms or maybe onto your hands stacked. And just breathe here and notice the beautiful stretch in the outer hip. Relax your face and smile because you're doing something good for you right now. This is self-care at its finest. I love how different the stretch feels in each of the different positions. Good. And then you can stay in one of those two variations or balancing with the thighs as your support. Reach that left hand back for the left foot and enjoy a beautiful quad stretch. Breathing, breathing. Good. All right. Whew. We'll uncurl. Let the right hip roll onto the mat. Take the left leg up and around and then settle so that both sits bones are glued to the mat. Then you're going to wrap your right arm around your left knee. Twist yourself around and enjoy a beautiful twist. Close your eyes and just breathe. Massaging your organs. It's like wringing out a sponge. So like your blood isn't dirty or anything like that, but I'm just, for the sake of a simile or a visual picture, Imagine you have a sponge that's full of dirty water. So you squeeze the sponge, and all that dirty water, or in this case, possibly stagnant blood, gets squeezed out. And then when you untwist, all this fresh, oxygenated, happy, nutrient-rich blood just washes into your organs. It's wonderful. Okay, from here, we're going to lie down on our backs and really squeeze the knees together, or the thighs together. So fancy dinner kind of position, even though it's not so good for your varicose veins if you sit like this all the time. Okay, grab a hold of either your feet or your shins. Pull your feet towards you. Settle the back onto the mat. And enjoy a beautiful stretch where you're the boss. The more bend you have in that left knee, the easier this is going to feel. And the more straight you can make that left knee, the more challenging this fire log pose is going to be. So pick your poison and breathe. And then we'll uncurl. Grab a hold of the soles of your feet, coming back into a happy, happy baby. Maybe taking a rock from side to side. Or just staying still. Letting the weight of your arms pull your feet toward the mat. Relax your face. Let the space between your eyebrows smooth out. And breathe. And then we're going to come into Shavasana, your very best Shavasana. So one nice way to get into Shavasana is by working for it. So that's what I'm going to do. Arms and feet pointing to the floor. And then I'm going to very slowly, with my back glued to the mat, lower both down, working hard, engaging the legs, engaging the arms, engaging the core. And then when I land, letting it all go. It's easier to relax when you're first doing the opposite. So Shavasana is your opportunity, or the opportunity of your body, to absorb everything you just taught it. So your body's like, oh, you know what? When I do those things, everything in this abdominal area feels like I paid attention to it. There's energy there. Things are flowing and moving. And your hips are probably feeling pretty tingly and alive right now too, because they've had a nice stretch. And we must remember too that energy goes where thought flows. Energy flows where thought goes. So if we bring all of our awareness to our hips and our abdomen, we're going to have greater opening, more blood flow, more movement, and better health. And of course, the other part of digestion is rest. Our body can put more energy into digestion if we just stop every now and then and relax. So let your breath continually deepen, so that every inhalation just takes you deeper and deeper into a place of wonderful healing and relaxation. Maybe we'll just do some very simple box breaths as we lie here. So next time you inhale, I want you to count to 4. And then gently hold your breath for 4. Exhale for 4. And then hold your breath for 4. So ready? Here we go. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3. Last round. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. And now breathe just the way you want to breathe. Let it happen flawlessly without thought. And allow any final vestiges of tightness or tension to melt away as the mat comes up to meet you, to cradle you, to hold you in comfort. Feel free to stay in Shavasana as long as you like. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.